maybe some tips on cleaning the GPUs? How do you take care of your GPUs? I mean, taking care of 2,500 GPUs or 27, you said.
Yeah,
That must be...
It's an event. So it's all around schedule. So like we just did a video yesterday where people are, really freaking out about prices and things pulling back, and they're like, oh, my profitabilities are down. Like I say, look at your operations. If it gets to the point where you're really close to equilibrium, never been a better time to shut down and clean your machines, right? So it keeps you engaged and keeps you motivated. It gets your mind off of prices and like, okay, it's time to clean. We were doing a biannual cleaning every year. So we would go through, pull GPUs. Usually it's in the peak of the summer for us up there, to where, if we're going to have a 90-degree day plus, like we'll shut down the farm. We have pretty good airflow through it. So we'd keep those on and we'd go out and dust all the machines off, all that kind of stuff, and use that peak time where the cards are going to be running a lot hotter. And also we had interruptible power at the main farm, right? So which meant that on certain times on peak days, like if it was like, 100-degree, Fahrenheit days, which is very warm, the power company could option us to ask for us to shut down, right? So because they're wanting the power for, they're going to have all these air conditionings on everywhere. So like any kind of interruptible, they were usually pretty cool about letting us know, like, hey, we're at peak. And we're going to, if we didn't shut down, they would just adjust our rate. So they had that clause, right? So we were like, yeah, good time to shut down and clean. So optimize your cleaning around known downtimes or known unknown downtimes. Just knowing that, I'm going to be in peak. This is the time to do it. And if you build that on a schedule, just look at a long calendar. Like we actually have these like printout calendars, and we just kind of mark potential days so we can backwards plan to know that we got to be there. Like I'm not near the farm, about 550 miles, about 700 plus kilometers from the farm. So like I'm flying up there typically. So I try to optimize around that time. And there's never a perfect time unless it's down, like unless the power goes off or something. But yeah, optimize it and clean it. And we were doing biannually because we were air cooled in a larger warehouse. If you're in a home miner, just take a visual inspection. And then you could go probably 4 years without having to replace like paste and stuff. But at least for the Sapphire mining editions, whatever solution they used for the thermal transfer essentially dried up in about 2.5 years. So
really,
yeah,
I had some gaming Sapphires, and they were like beasts running for 4 years. Like they were like new.
Oh yeah. Some of them, like if they use the right kind of thermal paste, they were still fine. For our mining edition ones, they were like, it ended up turning into dust. Like you were just scraping it off. So, and the video we just did yesterday was on the cleaning process, because profits are down. I'm like, hey, just take your mind off of it, clean your machines. And then if it's too low and you have like crazy, because I mean some people have 24 cents per kilowatt, 33 cents. Like one guy reached out, it's like, hey, I have 33% per kilowatt, I'm no longer profitable. And I'm like, bro, like 33 cents, like you gotta find another way. Like that's expensive. So and that's where I look at like cloud, like I don't want to say cloud hosting, but there's a new evolution of what was essentially like the old Genesis mining concept of like cloud mining, where you have co-location, where you own the asset and you're just looking at a booked rate. I've told people, like if you have 33 cent to 24 cent kilowatt, you may be able to divest that asset, still be a miner and buy into another asset. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of GPU solutions with that. Actually, there's only like one or two that I know of.
There must be a reason, because GPU rigs can be like trouble all the way. With ASICs, you just set it up and forget it.
Correct. Yeah, you need to have a standard format. So that's what we're switching our farm to. We're switching to a standard like we had mostly the Sapphire mining editions, but again, we were talking about AMD earlier, like sometimes it can be finicky. We're been benchmarking the A4000 amperes and the 5000 amperes. And we're splitting across both of them because it's just a supply thing to try to get that many GPUs. We had to split it across the two. We do have a sample of the 2000 coming, but having a workstation card that's kind of purpose built for tasks, and if we can find some good stability, there may be a future state to where, as we're building out this other larger farm, we're doing a bigger Bitcoin farm, we have goals to try to hit 10 megawatt within the next 2 years. So we're starting with 2 megawatt, 2 containers filled out with S19s, but the location and the pricing for the power that we're getting, we're looking at having a couple containers that we would be able to do a GPU mining rig potential solution for co-location. So, but it would come with requirements of like the same GPUs, and like the configuration management needs to be more consistent. So you can't have like your mix of stuff, because it's a lot more complex of a build, to maintain something like that. But maybe future state for us, we'll be able to offer that colo for people.